Hello everyone, good morning for me. This is just a vlog where I wanted to share what I do. It is a Monday morning and my oldest daughter is at school, but my babysitter is off this entire week. She just became a grandma and she's going to be with her daughter for this week to help her out because she had a C-section. And I'm just going to share, we're going to just hang out today, and I wanted to do some cleaning, and I'm making my sourdough bread, so I'll just document whatever we're doing. I don't know how interesting it is, but it's just what we do when we hang out at the house. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to start a sourdough bread. I'm going to put actually the measurements down in the description. I use 100 grams of the sourdough starter. It's active. I fed it last night and it's active. It's nice. And someone asked how I feed it. Basically, I just leave it in the refrigerator for about a week or so, and then usually on the weekends I bake a loaf of bread, just one loaf. We've been having extra company here at the house. I have a friend from France and she has been staying with us for 2 months, and so we have been going through bread more quickly. So I actually made a bread a couple days ago. Okay, 100. Yay, perfectly 100. And here's the thing. When I try to, I don't know if you can see this. There's not a lot left. It's very little. And the sun is blazing today, which is actually kind of nice. It's been dark. And I saw a video on TikTok once about sourdough, and that it really requires, it works best when you have a very little bit of like actual sourdough left, and then feed it like more, like the ratio is a little bit of sourdough and a lot of flour and water. I find it will work so well, so I'm trying to always almost empty it out. And because I always make one loaf usually, I feed it now and then I put it in the refrigerator right away, and it'll slowly rise and that'll stay in the refrigerator until next week. Probably I might make, you could take it out whenever. You can leave it in the fridge for a couple days or one day or a couple weeks. It actually stays fresh, but if you leave it in the fridge for longer than a week, you probably need to feed it again. So, $325 grams of just room temperature water. I don't make it warm or anything, just really basically out of the water faucet. And here in Germany we have really good water that comes out of the faucet. It's not fluoridized, it's not chlorinated heavily, so it's pretty good. It tastes good and it works pretty good. Wow, 325 even, I did that. And 10 grams of salt. I also use natural salt that is not iodized. Iodized, is that what you call it? Like there's no iodine in it. We get iodine in different ways. We eat a lot of seaweed kind of stuff. And we also, like I use kelp that I take, and now we're gonna whisk it together. Okay, whisk it until it's kind of frothy and milky, until the sourdough has dissolved. This is a Danish whisk. You don't need that. You can totally do it by hand or just a regular whisk. But this works really well just to kind of mix in the flour. And then I'm going to actually open this bag of flour. I get this flour at a little farmer's market, like 3 minutes from our house. It's open all the time. It's a store. It's like a farmer's market store. And it always has great flour. The flour literally comes from my town here, so I know where it's from. So $4.75. I sometimes mix it. This time I'm gonna make just a white flour loaf, because last time I mixed in the whole wheat and some flaxseed. I think this time I'm just gonna make a plain loaf. Although I did actually also want to make it like with you know, like fried or like roasted onions. So good also. But today is gonna be just a plain loaf. Okay, mix it in. So just kind of slowly mix it in here. You can use your hands, but I actually find that with this whisk it works well, and then I don't have to wash my hands, because with little kids I always get interrupted, except for now. Usually first thing in the morning, they actually play really nicely. When it's later in the day, they get a little cranky because they're a bit tired, and so, or when they're hungry, so they just had breakfast, or partially at least. So yeah, I'm gonna incorporate this fully, and then I'm gonna let it stand, and then I'm gonna do some stretch and folds. So this is what it looks like now when it's incorporated. It's very shaggy. It's just come together, and because the gluten has not really formed the structures, so it's very shaggy. I let this stand for about 15 minutes now, and then it will have kind of, they call it autolyse. The flour has to kind of soak up the water, and then I can do a stretch and fold. I will put the lid on. That's why I use this bowl. It's very practical. It just has a lid. And there are Lola and Emil. Hey there! How are you?
Hi.
Oh, are you playing? They've had a cold? Oh, he has a snotty nose. Oh, he has it all over his face. I've got to wipe his face. So, a little bit of an update. Yeah, or maybe they were not going to let me talk. They have a little, this is like with horses, but they have taken it apart. This is a horse stable, kind of a horse barn. And he loves to play with cars. He has a little garage here, and they love to play with that. And she's like, okay. We didn't go anywhere last week. Normally on Fridays we have kids gymnastics for them, and Saturdays we have been doing the swimming, or the toddler. They call it Wassergewöhnung, which means, like, you know, to get them used to water, kind of, you know, so they're not scared of water. So they splash them sometimes. They will put like water on top of them and stuff, and like very, very gently, very nice. Romy comes with me, and then Romy usually is with Lola, and I will take over Emil. So it's been nice, and I can tell even after 3 times, I can tell a difference, that they are a little bit more confident to let go, because they, you know, they have those inflatable. They're not the ones that you put on the arms, but they're the ones that you put kind of around the torso, and then they're kind of on the back, which has the advantage then they can actually learn to swim better, because their arms are free. There's nothing on the arms, and then, you know, eventually they will teach them the movements, you know, to swim. And actually Emil already did some of the legs. I was like, paddle your legs, and he had fun, and then I kind of pull him, but I pretend like he's swimming all on his own, and they're having a lot of fun. And besides, it's something to do during this very dark, cold, long winter here. So I was thinking, okay, let's just not sit at home all the time. They have these indoor playgrounds here, but literally every time we go there, they get sick, because all the kids there, you know, like snotty noses and stuff. So, but last week we didn't go to gymnastics, and we also didn't go to swimming because they had a cold last week, and they were like, I was like, nah, let's get them well first, because they're still having snotty noses. Oh, and they love to play with our doggy. I need to cut her face again, clip her face, because it always gets so long. Hast du Autos?
Ja, keine mehr.
So, jetzt hast du alle Autos dahingestellt, gell?
Mama, das Haus.
Oh, why does she have this? It's because Romy actually literally put this on her forehead, and she wants it now.
Mami, bring du das Haus.
Da ist doch das Haus. Ach, das andere Haus? Okay. He wants this right here. You know these Sylvanian families? It's so cute. I mean, they have literally taken everything apart. But this is, normally it's this is the tree house from the Sylvanian families. These little figures, these little animal figures. It's just the cutest thing.
Du das da bringen.
Wohin?
Da.
Auf die Seite?
Ja.
Okay. And I'm cooking some oatmeal just for me. I think Lola will probably eat some of it, but Amy won't. So I put some frozen, it's just milk and oats. And I put a little bit of vanilla protein powder in there. And now a little bit of frozen raspberries. Yeah. So I'm gonna eat that now and enjoy it. This is so good. It's so yummy with that protein powder. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And it's Groundhog Day because it's actually the next day from what I showed you yesterday. But we're doing the same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna try to see if you can see me here. This was in the fridge overnight. And so I let it stand on the counter pretty much until the early evening yesterday. So it was out there for about 6-7 hours, which it's pretty cool right now. It's not that warm in here. So it took 6-7 hours to actually ferment. And then I put it in the fridge because I didn't get to bake it yesterday. And now, actually I found that I can shape it easier when it's slightly cold, when it's not room temperature. And I'm gonna shape it now. Oven is preheating already, and then I'm gonna bake it. I made some cuts here. I'm gonna put the lid on and put it in the oven. Okay, I'm gonna try to sit down here for a few minutes. The bread is in the oven. And then I'm gonna give you a little bit of an update. So, yes, we are moving to the US. The timeline is, well, it's end of November right now. And the timeline really is we wanna go after this school year is finished. Here in Germany, this is really late. At the end of July, the school year finishes for Romy. So I am currently working on my visa. I know I said that before, but like we're really doing this now, and I found out something really cool, which is gonna save us so much money. So for the E2 business investor visa, it's a visa, it's not a green card, it's a visa. That's what we're starting out with. I actually can transfer the existing business because I've built a business here in Germany, and I can actually transfer it over to my Texas company. I already have a Texas LLC. We're going to talk about the best structure, if it needs to be like a corporation, like an incorporation, or LLC, whatever is best. So I'm talking to the people who are. It's a company that really does most E2 visas. And they have lawyers in-house, they have business plan writers in-house, they have business people in-house. So it's more than just a lawyer. They really can help you come up with a concept for the E2 visa. That's also going to make you successful. So of course I've had my business here for a few years already. And with my YouTube channel that has currently, my main channel has like 282,000 subscribers. Growing faster now because I started doing some reactions, which really gets a lot of traction. That and 6-figure revenue yearly, that has an evaluation. So we need someone, it's going to be a professional CPA who's going to help evaluate the business, and then that value of the business actually counts as my investment into that. But what I have to do is transfer irrevocably all those assets to my Texas company, which is fine because I'm gonna be there. And even if I ever do come back to Germany, I still actually want the business entity to be in the US. Most of my customers are based in the US, and there are some advantages of doing that. You know, it has to do with some laws. Like here, it's in Europe, it's extremely strict. Like, you know, you do something online, you do one little thing wrong. Like if you don't have a double opt-in for someone who gives you their email address, you could get in really bad trouble. I mean, things like that are just, you make one little mistake, they're gonna sue you like crazy. I know it's like that in the States, but if you have a business entity, which I haven't had here in Germany, it's just me as a freelancer, which is kind of risky because if someone were to sue anything about the business, then it would be me personally liable. If I have a company, like right now, I'm transferring everything to my Texas company, then I'm not personally liable, but my the company is liable, which is a much better scenario when you separate personal and business, of course. So yeah, and that's exciting because that's probably just transferring the assets. That's going to be my entire investment, and maybe I'll make small investments in addition to that. I actually have one person on the team who is based in the US, and maybe increase her hours a little bit, and then have a good business plan where I can show that in the next 3 to 5 years I'm going to create more jobs, which is my plan. I want to create an actual in-person studio, which I used to have that here in Germany, then I went completely online 100%. And a lot of people who are based in the US, they always ask me, they would totally come to workshops if they weren't in Germany. So I'm gonna do workshops, but more than that, I really actually want to do a vocal academy where it's not just me teaching, but I'm gonna take on board a few other vocal coaches, and we're gonna have a nice, kind of really nice place for vocal training, from classical to musical theater to pop and rock, because that's kind of what I do. I'm versatile. I love doing all of that. So that's something I'm working on with my business. For those of you who don't know my background, I'm a trained opera singer. I have a master's of music and vocal performance. I used to sing professionally in opera. I actually founded a musical theater company here in Germany, which then I handed off to someone else when I became a mom. Okay, she's just playing. Oh, she always, see this? She wants, she's just whining because she wants to chase down the dog. Lola, langsam, Ei machen. And the dog doesn't like that. Yeah, Nelly does not like, it's like she runs away, and then Lola, she just whines about it because she wants to play with a dog. But they've been rough with her sometimes, and she doesn't like it. So I'm trying to teach her to go approach her slowly, and then just pet her and be gentle. They're learning to be gentle now. I'm excited about going to the States, and I'm still thinking very much about baby number 4. And I am gonna get a big chunk of money in the next 3 weeks or so. And I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe there's even a way before. Depending on how this thing with Ukraine goes, even if they're, come January 20th, if nothing really terrible happens by then, who knows, right? It's kind of escalating right now, but if Trump really does what he said he was gonna do, if he manages to have a peace treaty, or at least to where we know there's no active war going on in Ukraine. Ukraine is close to Germany. It's a couple hours flight. And also, it's one of the best and cheapest places, and with the most loose laws when it comes to reproductive medicine. That was always a really great place, and now with the war, of course, you can't go there. Especially now, it's crazy. So I would not even dream of going there. Although the clinics have not shut down, they're all there. I don't know how they survive, because it's not people from Ukraine going there, it's people from everywhere, and I don't know, they all say they're operating. I touched base with a clinic last year because I was just interested in what do they do? Are they actually doing? Some clinics actually moved their facilities outside the country, like to Georgia or something like that. So, but what if this all happens and maybe in February there's gonna be no more war in Ukraine? That would be another good option, to have an embryo transfer, donated embryos. So I am very much thinking about this. If I have that big chunk of money, it might be doable. And I'm not just talking about the actual transfer fee, because that's just a small amount in comparison to the money that's needed when the baby's here and I can't work as much, and it's just a lot in the first year or so. Okay, they're okay. I need it, when it's quiet, it's very suspicious. Where did they go now? Maybe sometimes, if you have toddlers, if you have twin toddlers, you know what I'm talking about. If you have multiples, I feel like a singleton, it's so different to watch a singleton. And even when one of them is asleep and the other one is awake, it's like so easy peasy for me. Literally, it's so easy to just watch one of them, but both of them in combination, the biggest problem is that when they're together, they're having all these crazy ideas. Especially Lola, she does a lot of messy things. She loves experimenting with messy stuff. Like, just a couple days ago, she drew on my wallpaper again. She found a little piece of crayon, I don't know, just a little piece. And then she came to me and she was really proud. They don't have that awareness yet that when I freak out, that it's like, oh no, I shouldn't do it. And she came to me, Mama, I painted there. And I'm like, where? Where did you paint? And sure enough, it was my wallpaper. Oh well, that's just what it is. We're gonna sell this house and we're gonna have to make a disclaimer because it's like they literally broke the shutters. Like 2 of the windows, they broke both of the shutters. They have bitten the window frames to where the paint came off, which is not healthy at all, but also now it's all these bite marks. No, it was not our dog. It was my children. And also, like, I don't know, wallpapers torn off and stuff like that. Probably the people who are going to buy the house are going to do a little bit of remodeling. But still, it's kind of, yeah. That's my update. And let's wait till the bread is finished. Like, I love that moment when I take off the lid. Are you dancing? Are you dancing with her? It's okay, just be gentle. Okay, we're gonna take a look at... Okay, this is my favorite moment. Alright, it's been about... that's a lot of heat coming out. It's been about 40 minutes. Whoopsie. There, it's foggy. Oh, beautiful. And this is the finished result. Oh, it's gonna taste so good. You can see. Oh, so nice and crunchy. Can't wait to cut into it, but I'm gonna let it cool first. And I'm gonna wrap it up now, my friends. I'm gonna try to get this video edited, and I will definitely try. I always have all these visions of things I want to do, and the truth is, with these 2 little ones, everything takes me so much longer. Let me know in the comments. If you have little ones, do you experience this? I don't know. When I had one daughter, I felt like, yes, things took longer, but it was all manageable. But with both of them, it's like I literally get interrupted every 2 or 3 minutes. Like whatever I'm doing, I will get interrupted many times. Thank you so much for watching today. Subscribe for more updates. And all of you who are trying to still have a baby to conceive naturally or embryo adoption, whatever way, I'm sending lots of baby dust to you. I know that a lot of you already have your rainbow babies or the babies that you wished for. Uh-oh, I better wrap it up and break up their fight. Talk later.